Welcome back to the Cowboys versus Ninjas podcast. You guys sent in some really creative flash fiction this time.
Yeah, really wild stuff.
And we are psyched to share a couple of these real page-turners with you today. The Golden Guns of El Dorado and Shadows and Six Shooters. So today, our mission, should we choose to accept it, is to figure out, what makes these fast-paced stories so darn addictive.
Sounds like a plan. These aren't your typical Western yarns. We've got lost cities, we've got outlaws, and some seriously unexpected curveballs.
Oh, yeah.
So it's really a great chance to explore how genres can, really collide in these short, explosive bursts of storytelling. Flash fiction, it's got to grab you fast.
It really does. It really does. All right, so first up, let's saddle up and head into the Golden Guns of El Dorado. Okay.
Let's do it.
Now, imagine this. It's the Wild West, but with a twist. Our hero is a 12-year-old sharpshooting prodigy named Jesse Quickshot McGraw.
Quickshot, love it.
12 years old. And the stories you sent in said he's fresh off winning, the biggest sharpshooting competition in the West. Now, I don't know about you, but at 12 years old, I was mostly concerned with, dodging chores and maybe getting a decent baseball card. I mean, can you imagine the kind of hype surrounding this kid?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he'd be a legend before he even hit puberty. I mean, newspapers would be eating the story up.
Yeah.
Dime novels. I mean, everyone would want a piece of Quickshot McGraw.
Oh, yeah. Quickshot McGraw, the kid who can outshoot anybody. And he's just a kid. But this win, this victory, it's not just about bragging rights. It's not just about fame, As the story unfolds, it's the thing that kicks off his quest for a legendary treasure.
Right, right. It's like that win puts a target on his back, in a way.
Yeah.
Or at least, it sets him on a path that he couldn't have foreseen.
Yeah, definitely puts him on a path that he couldn't have foreseen.
Yeah, destiny's calling.
So this grizzled old prospector, right? His name is Silas Boone. I mean, just picture the classic grizzled prospect.
Oh, yeah. I was seeing a long beard, the dusty hat, missing a few teeth.
Oh, yeah. Definitely missing a few teeth. Probably got a mule named Betsy or something like that.
Exactly.
Silas Boone shows up with this, this tattered map. It's probably held together with spit and dreams.
And a whole lot of hope, right?
Leading to the lost riches of El Dorado.
El Dorado, man. I mean, talk about legendary.
Oh, come on. Jesse's, of course, skeptical. I mean, who wouldn't be? Sounds like, the kind of story you tell around a campfire to, scare kids.
Right. Or to inspire them to go on their own adventures.
But Jesse's skepticism, it doesn't last very long, because guess what?
Uh-oh. This can't be good.
A ruthless outlaw gang. Their name, the Black Vultures.
The Black Vultures. I mean, come on, that's a pretty intimidating name.
And they're led by this nasty piece of work named Mad Dog Graves.
I mean, Mad Dog says it all.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You're not dealing with, a friendly shopkeeper.
But you're dealing with somebody who's got a hair trigger temper.
Right.
They storm into Jesse's town, Dustwood, and guess what they're after?
Oh, I bet I can guess. Let me guess. That map.
That map. They are there for that map to El Dorado.
Yeah.
So suddenly, this treasure hunt that sounded like, kind of a tall tale.
Right. Just a legend.
Becomes a fight for survival.
Yeah. Stakes just went way up.
It's boom, reality hits. So Jesse, what's he going to do? He teams up with Silas, the old prospector, and this young woman, a tough-as-nails young woman named Clara.
Okay, so we've got the grizzled veteran, we've got the young prodigy, and now we've got
Clara. And in the stories that you shared, it says that she's as skilled with a knife as Jesse is with a gun.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So they've got all the bases covered. Yeah. They got the wisdom, they got the speed, and they got the stealth. Oh, yeah. They got a good team there. So what did you think about this sudden escalation, right? Yeah. I mean, it goes from 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. And the formation of this, this unlikely trio, this team, what'd you think about that? Well, if you think about adventure stories in general, I mean, this is classic, right? You throw in an immediate threat, and bam, you've raised the stakes. It's no longer just some leisurely stroll to find some treasure. It's a desperate race against some really bad dude.
Okay.
And then you throw in Clara, right?
Yeah.
And that adds a whole other dynamic. It's not just the lone hero against the world. Now it's a team.
Mm-hmm.
And they all bring something different to the table, That adds, layers to the whole thing, how they're going to work together, whether they'll succeed, Oh, the potential for conflict. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, can you imagine the personality clashes?
All right, so their journey, oh boy, their journey. The flash fiction you sent in describes it as like a gauntlet of classic Western perils, but like cranked up to 11. I mean, we're talking cursed ghost towns,
Boogie.
treacherous canyons, lawless settlements where like dangers behind every saloon door.
Yeah, you got to watch your back in those places.
And the black vultures, I mean, these guys, they are relentless. They're always right on their tail.
Yeah, they're like a pack of wolves, sniffing at their heels, just waiting for them to make a mistake.
Well, hold on, because it's not just the black vultures. There's another wrinkle. You pointed this out, and I thought it was really interesting. There's a masked bounty hunter known only as the Coyote.
Ooh, the Coyote. That's mysterious. I like it.
And mysterious. Doesn't say much. And this bounty hunter, he has his own reasons for going after Jesse, and they are not clear at all.
Oh, that's good. Adds a layer of intrigue, right? Makes you wonder, what's the Coyote story?
And why Jesse? I mean, Jesse's a kid, so Jesse's suddenly become like the most wanted, 12-year-old in the West.
Yeah, talk about pressure.
And if that wasn't enough, the path to the treasure itself, forget about it. Booby-trapped caves, ancient riddles, cryptic messages carved into rocks. So it's not just about being quick on the draw, it's about using your brain.
Right. So it's action and brains. They got to have both if they want to survive this.
Oh, yeah, they got to use their wits as much as they're shooting irons. What does this, layering of threats, right? You got the outlaws, you got this mysterious bounty hunter, you got the traps, you got the riddles. What does that tell you about the kind of story the Golden Guns of El Dorado wants to be?
Well, it's definitely keeping the reader on the edge of their seat, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But I think it's also, it's showing that this isn't just a straight-up action fest.
Yeah.
There's some real thought put into the challenges, the puzzles, the riddles. It's making the characters and the reader think.
Yeah. Engage that brain. All right. Now we get to the good stuff. The legend of the Golden Guns of El Dorado. These ain't just some regular six-shooters. We're talking about, legendary firearms. They can grant the wielder, supposedly, incredible speed and accuracy.
Ooh, so like supernatural guns.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're talking you could probably shoot the wings off a fly from 100 yards with these things.
Wow. That's some serious firepower.
But, there's always a but. As with most things that are, crazy powerful, there's a catch. There's a curse, a nasty one. And that just injects this whole other level of supernatural, kind of spookiness into what could have been, just a good old-fashioned Western.
Right. It adds a moral dimension to it, right? Is it worth the risk? Is the power worth the potential cost?
Exactly. It makes you think, doesn't it? So the climax, as you might expect, it all goes down in this place called Devil's Canyon. I mean, come on, Devil's Canyon.
I mean, the name says it all, right? There's going to be some serious showdown.
Jesse and his crew, they finally reach the treasure. But of course, Mad Dog and his gang, they're waiting for him. And it all comes down to this, this epic shootout. You can picture it, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, bullets flying, dust swirling, the echoes of gunshots bouncing off the canyon walls.
So how does the whole deal with the cursed guns, right? How does that, elevate the story beyond just a simple treasure hunt?
Well, it makes us think about what people are willing to do for power.
Yeah.
Are they willing to risk their soul for it? It adds a whole layer of psychological tension.
Yeah.
It's not just about getting rich or winning. It's about, the choices you make along the way.
It's about the price of power. Right.
Exactly.
All right, let's holster those golden guns for a second. Let's mosey on over to Shadows and Six Shooters, which throws a total wild card into the mix. We're talking ninjas.
Ninjas in the Wild West. Now, that's something you don't see every day.
No, you do not. So the year is 1883. And in this, rough and tumble town, Black Hollow.
Black Hollow. Sounds pretty ominous.
A deadly ninja clan from Japan, the Kurotaka Clan, arrives. And these guys are not here for a sightseeing tour. They're here to get back a stolen artifact, an ancient one. It's called the Dragon Mask of a legendary, Japanese warlord.
A dragon mask. Okay. This is getting interesting.
And this mask, it's now in the hands of this brutal outlaw, a kingpin, Jebediah Crowe.
Jebediah Crowe.
And this mask, they say, can give you, like, supernatural strength. It can make you almost impossible to kill.
So we've got legendary guns in one story, a legendary mask in the other. I'm sensing a theme here.
I think you're picking up what we're putting down. And Crowe, he's not going to just use this mask to, win a poker game. He wants to use it to, become unstoppable. He wants to rule the West. He wants to be the big cheese. What was your first reaction to this mixing of, like, the Wild West and ninjas?
Honestly.
Yeah.
I was hooked immediately. It's so unexpected, so bold. It's like mixing chocolate and peanut butter. They're great on their own, but together.
Oh, they're amazing.
Magic.
Yeah. So we got this, this delicious mix of cowboys and ninjas. Now enter COLT MERCER. He's our classic wandering gunslinger, known for his incredible speed. He's not looking for trouble, but, trouble always seems to find him. So Crowe's men, they're out looking for the mask, right? They attack this village.
Classic villain move.
And Colt, he steps in to save the day. But he ends up saving AKIKO, and she's a rogue ninja.
A rogue ninja. Okay, so she's not with the clan that's looking for the mask.
No, she's on her own. She's got her own reasons for wanting to stop Crowe. So AKIKO, she tells Colt, hey, this mask, it's bad news. She explains the real danger, Crowe's ambitions. And despite, the fact that they come from, like, totally different worlds, a gunslinger and a ninja, they have to team up.
Well, yeah, they've got a common enemy.
They do.
And sometimes that's all it takes to forge an alliance.
So why do they have to team up? Because now they're not just facing Crowe, they're facing the entire Kurotaka Clan, Crowe's gang, and this other deadly group called the Iron Riders. Everybody wants this mask. What is this whole, forced alliance thing? What does it tell you about where the story's going?
Well, it's setting up a classic buddy cop kind of situation, but with a twist. You've got two people from completely different backgrounds, different skills, different philosophies who have to learn to work together. And that creates a lot of potential for conflict, but also for growth.
Oh, yeah.
They can learn from each other, maybe even find some common ground.
And you know what they say? 2 heads are better than 1, especially when you're facing down, like, an army of ninjas and outlaws.
Especially when one head is a cowboy and the other's a ninja.
So their journey, as you might expect, it is action-packed. We're talking gunfights. We're talking sword fights.
And I bet there's some serious stealth involved, too.
Oh, tons of stealth. They're going through deserts, creepy ghost towns, sneaking into hidden mountain fortresses.
Sounds like a travel brochure for a very specific kind of vacation.
Along the way, they face down ninja assassins. They survive ambushes from the outlaws. They even bust out of a corrupt sheriff's prison.
Wow, they're racking up some frequent flyer miles, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. And the source material that you shared, it even hints that Colt might have some kind of, like, ancestral connection to the dragon mask.
Oh, that's interesting. So it's not just a random artifact for him. It's tied to his past, his identity.
Yeah, adds a whole other level of, like, personal investment in the whole thing. What did you think about, all the different kinds of threats that they're facing? You got ninjas, you got outlaws, you got corrupt lawmen. It's like a buffet of danger.
So like the writer just threw everything they loved about action movies into a blender?
Yeah.
And hit pulse.
Pulse.
But you know what? It works. It's exciting. It's unpredictable. You never know what's going to come next.
So the final showdown, it all goes down in this incredible location, the storm-ravaged cliffs of Black Vulture Peak. You can picture it.
Oh, yeah. I'm like lightning flashing, wind howling, rain lashing down. It's like the perfect setting for an epic showdown.
It's Jebediah Crowe. He's wearing the mask. He's, like, super powered. Bullets are bouncing off him. He's like, the Terminator.
So how do you beat a guy who can't be killed?
Colt, he's thinking, okay, I got to outdraw this guy. I got to be faster. But AKIKO, she's like, no, we got to combine our strengths. So she's like, let's use the discipline of the sword with the instinct of the gun. So we got Western gunfighting meeting, like ancient ninja techniques. What does that tell you about the message of the story?
I think it's saying that sometimes the best way to overcome a challenge is to think outside the box, to combine different approaches. It's not always about brute force. It's about strategy, about using your strengths in unexpected ways.
Yeah. Teamwork makes the dream work. All right, so there you have it. 2 really wild stories that take the Wild West and they flip it on its head,
Yeah, they turn it into something fresh and exciting.
In the Golden Guns of El Dorado, you got this young prodigy wrestling with the temptation of power. And in the end, he makes a choice to do the right thing, to destroy something that could corrupt him.
Yeah, it's a classic hero's journey, but with a young protagonist who has to grow up really fast.
And then there's that twist at the end. The coyote calling Jesse, son. What's that about?
Right. It leaves you wanting more. Makes you wonder about Jesse's past, his future.
Then we got Shadows and Six Shooters, where cowboys and ninjas clash. And it's not just a clash of cultures, it's a clash of fighting styles.
Yeah, and it's asking, can human skills stand up to supernatural power?
And then that revelation about Colt's mom being part of the Kurotaka Clan, it's like, whoa, this opens up a whole other can of worms.
Like suddenly the Wild West feels a lot bigger, a lot more mysterious.
So both of these flash fiction stories, they might be different, but they both get that, that sense of adventure, that excitement, those compelling characters. They leave you wanting more.
Definitely leave you wanting more. And that's what good storytelling is all about.
And that is what we are all about here on the Cowboys vs. Ninjas podcast. We hope you enjoyed this little journey into the world of flash fiction.
Yeah, it's been a blast.
And if you got any thoughts, what parts of the stories did you like? What other crazy combinations would you like to see? Let us know. Maybe your ideas will spark the next adventure we talk about right here on the Cowboys vs. Ninjas podcast.
So keep those ideas coming, folks. We're listening.
We are listening.